published 1709 Est, the 1st of December 2017, updated 1012 Est, the 4th of December 2017. Think of Stan Laurel and Charlie Chaplin and most of us will smile at the memory of their brilliant slapstick. But it seems the relationship between the pair, who shared a room together when they toured the US, was no bundle of laughs. In a letter written 60 years ago which has just come to light, Ulverston-born Laurel described Chaplin as mean and cheap with signs of insanity. Laurel was his rival's understudy when they were music hall entertainers for the Fred Conno Company in 1910 and 1912. It seems the relationship between the pair, Laurel circled left and Chaplin right in 1910, who shared a room together when they toured the US, was no bundle of laughs. In a letter written in 1957, he said, "I have to agree with you Chaplin being mean and cheap. He never to my knowledge ever had any consideration for anybody, financially or otherwise. He never had any time for any of his close friends who worked with him in the early days. I was closely associated with Charlie for 2 or 3 years. I was his understudy and shared rooms with him on many occasions, so I'm fully aware of his idiosyncrasies." In a letter written 60 years ago which has just come to light, Ulverston-born Laurel described Chaplin pictured as mean and cheap with signs of insanity. Speaking about his mood swings in the letter to a friend Ed Patterson in Hove, East Sussex, he added he was a very eccentric character, composed of many moods, at times signs of insanity, which I think developed further when he gained fame and fortune, but he also acknowledged his genius. Continuing to my mind, he is still the greatest artiste in his field. Laurel and Hardy expert Roger Robinson was struck by the letter's strong wording. That's a surprise, as normally Laurel was very diplomatic in the way he put things. The letter is expected to fetch around £1,000 when it is auctioned on December 13 by Bonhams in London. David Robinson, author of Chaplin's biography, described it as extraordinary. He said, "Stan, whom I once had the pleasure of interviewing, seems to have been a very sweet-natured man, and I think this is evident here, even though he is being critical of Chaplin's private personality. He still insists his old colleague is the best in the comedy business. I am guessing he is replying to his correspondent's complaint that Chaplin has not responded to some plea for help from some old colleague, but that's a guess." In a letter pictured written in 1957, he said, "I have to agree with you Chaplin being mean and cheap. He never to my knowledge ever had any consideration for anybody, financially or otherwise. He never had any time for any of his close friends who worked with him in the early days. I was closely associated with Charlie for 2 or 3 years.